Hey everybody, Paul here with In Search of Para-Urentian Phenomenon, and I'm making a quick introduction to this video just to make note of a couple of things, but also kind of explain, um, some things to those of you who watch, my video ITC experiments. Uh, for starters, I've noticed that in the summertime, when we hit late June into July, when it's usually really hot, high temperatures, a lot of humidity, I've noticed over the past 2, 3 years that I've been doing this and putting it online that during those months, the responses in the ITC experiments uh, aren't as strong sometimes as they generally are other times of the year. You get responses, but they're generally words that don't really correspond with what you're saying or what you're asking. You'll get a lot of swearing or threats or replies telling you that you're going to die or some such thing. And I've not only noticed this in my own research, but I've noticed it on other channels where I know people are doing honest ITC sessions and experiments, and usually around this time of year, something happens that it's just not as fluid as it usually is. I don't know what the reason for that is. I've heard spirits and sessions past complain that it's been humid, that it's been hot, it's been kind of makes them weary. So I don't know if that energy affects them in some way. That they're more irritable, lethargic, or not interested in connecting. I'm not sure what it is, but it does seem to be a phenomenon that happens. It doesn't happen all the time. Some sessions are great, others not so much. But like I said, I've certainly noticed it in other people's uh, research as well. The second thing I wanted to talk about was now that things are a little bit in this slump during these last summer months. Uh, I've been really feeling, and I almost want to say that I feel like I've been prompted to do this experiment where I record with one of my voice recorders or the EVP voice recorder on my phone and use certain apps to see what will come through in the recording. And there was a certain app that I felt kind of prompted to use in this experiment. So I went into my room, I turned on the air conditioner, I turned on the app, I recorded with the EVP recorder on my phone, and I asked to connect with the woman who's been speaking to me, which in the last session alluded to being one of my guardian angels, Sarah. So I just wanted to see if I could uh, connect better that way using an app. And I will say that this session that you're about to listen to is much more concise, many more replies, many more uh, replies and words and comments that were pertaining to what I was talking about. It was more on subject. So I'm hoping this experiment kind of broke that summer slump that the sessions can get into. The second thing, or the third thing I wanted to say is that this session uh, was meant to connect with the female voice that has been speaking to me over the last several days at night. And I've been hearing her in the hallway upstairs, in my room at night and the air conditioner's on, like her voice, she's using that as white noise. So that was the only intention of this session. However, it got into some pretty uh, dark uh, commentary on the political state of the United States. And I just wanted to comment on that to say I didn't ask any questions about this. I try to keep that kind of thing out of my work. Unless something really dire is happening in the world, then of course I'm going to talk about it. Um, I'm really not a fan of any politician, but I know some people, when they hear this kind of thing, they get really offended, really upset. Some of this was pretty dark. So I'm just, asking that don't shoot the messenger. This is only the comments of spirit coming through. I didn't initiate this. I didn't ask anything about this. It just happened organically. It sounded kind of dismal and dark in parts. So again, if you don't like what you hear and who it's talking about, again, don't shoot the messenger. I'm only transcribing the words as they come through. I would also say at that point, when we talk to spirit this way, sometimes they say things pertaining to the future that actually we look back later and say, oh, wow, they were right. Somehow they knew this. Other times, not so much. So we have to be very careful when it comes to taking like prophetic words or things about the future from spirit. We may have uh, honest spirits coming through, higher celestial beings that are trying to tell us something, or we may not. As I say, in cases like this, only time will tell. So I wouldn't, take this information and run with it like it's gospel truth. But I always say, keep it in the back of your mind, keep it in your back pocket. You never know. Sometimes it's good to remember these things for future reference. But again, anything, if you hear it and you're not liking what you're hearing, I'm just the person transcribing the words. I was just looking to connect with the woman who's speaking to me, with my guardian angel, and this stuff started just kind of flowing through, kind of toward middle end, um, and there were some pretty strong words, that came up. So I'm just letting you know ahead of time, if you're easily upset by this kind of thing. Um, getting upset if somebody's, putting down your favorite politician or president. Just remember, this is coming from a source that's beyond me. I try to keep my opinions on all that, for the most part, uh, out of all of this. But that's all I really wanted to cover in this intro. And I did do a little intro in the recording, because this is, a recording through the EVP voice recorder app, with the other app running in the background, plus the air conditioner in my room. But so I did do a little introduction, talking about some of this before I get into the session in the recording. But I wanted to make this intro to talk about those other things, particularly kind of the dark nature of the political rhetoric that came through, that may or may not have significance to it in the future. So, again, be patient with the little intro if it's kind of repetitive, and don't shoot the messenger. I'm only the person bringing these words from spirit, whether they be true, whether they be false, whether they're somewhat true, however it pans out. I'm just the person delivering, these words as an experiment. So I hope you enjoyed the session. It did seem to break the summertime slump, and I will see you in the next session. I hope you enjoy this. Hey guys, Paul here with In Search of Parayorentian Phenomenon. Tonight I'm going to be trying a little bit of an experiment using the EVP voice recorder and also being in my room with the air conditioner on and using the ITC Box 2 app, which has 3 sound banks of the human voice chopped up into bits and played in reverse. And those sound banks are A, B, and C. A is English. B, I believe, is ancient Sumerian, chopped up into bits and played in reverse. And C is Spanish. So I'm going to choose voice box A for this experiment and let that run in the background with the AC and see if we can get any spirit replies or replies from the woman who's been speaking to me in my room at night, who the last session alluded to her being my guardian angel, Sarah. I also wanted to make mention that I'm doing this experiment with the ITC Box 2 because I'm feeling prompted to do that. I notice in the summer, particularly when we get to the end of June and into July, things go a little strange with the sessions. The replies aren't as many, or there's a lot of swearing, or a lot of threats, or a lot of threatening that, you're going to die. And I noticed this not only with my sessions, but with other legitimate ITC researchers as well. So I don't know what happens during these hot months, during the heat waves and the humidity, if that affects the spirits in some way. I don't know, but I have noticed that trend over the last few years that I've been doing this. So I've been feeling prompted to do this experiment and see what, if it improves things any, and maybe it will, since this is what I'm feeling drawn to and almost prompted to do. So let's turn on the AC and get the ITC box fired up here. Put some volume on it. I'm asking this evening if the woman who has been speaking to me in my room is present. Are you here right now? Can you hear me? If you are in fact here, could you tell me, please, are you my guardian angel, Sarah? And if it is in fact you, Sarah, could you tell me, please, why you're being so vocal lately in that way that I'm hearing you audibly in the room? Is there a reason for this?
Is something going to happen in the world, and that's why you're drawing closer to me right now? If something is going to happen on the world scene, could you please maybe tell me what it is? I know there's been an awful lot happening lately. So much seems to be on the edge. Do you have any idea what might be coming? Sarah, I know you've always been very compassionate toward other people, not just myself. So do you have a message for those who might listen to this audio recording experiment that I'm doing right now? Those who might listen on YouTube, do you have something you want to say to them? I've just turned on the voice bank box B with the Sumerian along with the English and box A. So Sarah, I would ask you in closing, do you have a message for me? Something you want to say right now about why you've been so vocal? Well, I thank you, Sarah, for any words or messages you may have left this evening. I very much appreciate it if you've communicated with me here. And I thank all of you for tuning in and listening and hopefully being prompted to do this little experiment here this evening will bring some, just fine-tune the sessions a little bit during these hot weather months that seem to make everything go a little conky-wampus. So thank you, Sarah, in advance if you've left a word or a message, and thank all of you for watching. And I'll see you again in the next session. Love and light.